Welcome, everybody, to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Hey, everyone, John here. Welcome to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. It's nice being back in the studio. I've been on travel for a week or so, and I miss the comforts of home. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please like and subscribe. Click that subscribe button. That'll help us get this out to as many people as we possibly can, because that's our mission, is helping others get to where they're going. Today, I wanted to talk about adding value to your relationships. And if you're a person like me, you've probably been on both sides of this story. One side is the value-added person. You're the one who's reaching out. You're the one that is expending all the energy. You're the one that feels like, man, I don't know what else I need to do to make this relationship work. Any of you been in that spot? The other side that I've also been on is the value, I'm going to call it the value draining side of a relationship, where you're taking everything. You're the one that never calls back. You're the one that never wishes them a happy birthday or any special engagement in that individual's life. You're the one that it always seems like if you need something, it's last minute. So you're picking up the phone or you're shooting a text over to that individual, and it's always a last minute thing. Oh, by the way, or you're that person that is always calling me for their fundraiser. You see where I'm going here? You don't want to be on one side value giving, or the other side where you're the value draining. Trust me, you don't want to be in those relationships. I've been in those relationships, and it's not good for anybody. So here's what I'm suggesting on this podcast, and here's what I want to talk about, is how to add value to our relationships to where we're thriving. We're both thriving. We're all thriving in our relationships. 2 questions I want to talk about. Ask yourself these questions, and if you don't know the answer, you're probably on the value draining side of a relationship that you're in. First question is, what are your values? What do you value in life? For me, I'm 43 years old. I will tell you, and I don't know if I'm going through a midlife crisis or if it's just a time in my life that I value time. I really value time. And I value time well spent. So I want to take advantage and maximize every single opportunity in my life right now to the extent, live life to the fullest. I want to be in relationships that the other individual also values my time, okay? I've been in many relationships over my life, and right now, if I don't see any value added from an individual, there's a good, probably a high probability that I'm not going to continue that relationship. So before you think that I'm just a mean person, that relationship, I never tell them goodbye, see you later, nice knowing you type thing. It's always going to be like, it's just not the time and place. We can continue this on. I will see you later. I never say goodbye because it feels final for me. But 5, maybe 10 years, maybe a year down the road, there may be a time when that relationship, again, we come across each other, and now we both have value to add to the relationship. But you got to start with, what are your values? Because if you don't know that answer to that question, then how can you even set an expectation for the relationships that you're currently in? So that one's important. The second one for me is, what value do you bring to the relationship? So 2 totally different questions, right? What value do you bring to your relationships? And a good way to think about this one is, pick a relationship that you're currently in, outside probably like of your marriage or relationship with a significant other person. You can start there. Outside of that, pick a relationship that you're currently in and ask yourself, be honest with yourself now, what value do I bring to this relationship, to that relationship? Is it where mutually responding back and forth, whether it's a happy birthday, have a great day, hey, do you want to go out and, there's this event coming up, do you want to go out, and attend those types of things, right? It doesn't feel like you're adding a lot of energy to the relationship that you're not getting back in return. That's what I mean by, what value are you adding? Other example would be, maybe it's a, relationship where it's forged on, in this case, in my example, as a new podcaster, as I'm getting up and I'm starting to get out there, I want to interview people who also have, we're like minds. We have value. They have value to bring to the conversation, and I have value to add to the conversation that we had. So again, I have that value in a certain genre, in a certain subset. I'm not going to go give automatic or automotive, advice on an automotive podcast. I trust me, I'm not going to add any value there. But be honest with yourself, because this is a hard one. If you don't know the answer, you might be that value drainer, or that energy drainer in the relationship. So these are important as we continue to forge our relationships, as we continue to maybe get new relationships. And it doesn't have to be, when I say the word relationship, let's just define that first, because I want to make sure it doesn't need to be an intimate relationship. This can be a professional relationship. This can be a friendship. All right. So any interaction that you are having with another person, I consider a relationship. And the importance of adding value to that relationship on both sides, give and take, to where you're not an energy drainer and you're not an energy giver, but it's mutual, is so important in how we, create our communities, how we expand our networks. They shouldn't just be things that I see on social media and I'm like, oh man, it'd be very interesting to meet that person. All right. If I'm going to meet them, I better be bringing some type of, chips to the table. What am I bringing to that relationship if I'm going out there and I want to meet that individual? Ask yourself that next time that you run into somebody, or, you want to go meet somebody, or you want to go talk to somebody, or it's a person that you're looking to recruit to your team. Remember, I always talked about always be recruiting. You're always out there, always be adding influence, those types of things. You can't add influence if you're not bringing value. That's how influence is that's the basis of influence. People have to see your value in order for them to trust you, in order for them to follow you. So those are important things. And that's why this value conversation, when it has to do with relationships, is so key in the relationships that we continue to have. I hope this helps. Go answer those two questions. What are your values, and what value do you bring to the relationship? And be intentional. Be intentional in our relationships on how we give value, add value, and how that other person exchanges their value. Have a great week. Go be great. We'll talk to everyone later. Bye. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us get others to where they're going.